Clash Royale.
Welcome back, guys, to the SSL here at the Nexon Arena. We just finished one series very quickly. That was a 3-0. It was not close. Solar just bopped his teammate around, like slapped him around, sent him home early, and Solar gets to go home early as well.
Yeah, man.
So does everybody, actually.
Solar
in the whole studio.
Cheerios yesterday, man. Something was a little bit off today. But yeah, Solar really with no problems. He had a really Deer had a really well defended rush, or rather, he defended really well Solar's rush in game one, and then it was just like, well, let me just like get a third, not really protected a whole lot.
Let me attack and lose my units and not do any damage. And
a little bit iffy there on game one, but games 2 and 3 were just not close. Deer, especially in that last game, struggled to get a third or a fourth base, and then as soon as he got it, it was a perfectly well-timed timing attack, which is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Solar just popped him.
He used a very interesting style, too, which he said that he got from a foreign Protoss.
I got to find out who that foreign Protoss player is. Somebody's outing him on Invent right now.
It's him. I don't know who it is, but there's a lot of foreign Protosses out there. It could be anyone who just figured out that this is a strong build. They're probably like, hey, Solar,
and they
I've never beat this build before.
Guess his Kakao Talk ID, and they're just like, yo, you got to try this in SSL, man.
Solar is close with a lot of the foreign players. I mean, he's even talked up the fact that the foreign scene is good at creating these, out of meta builds and stuff and really thinking outside the box, whereas the Korean meta is basically just like follow the way that everybody else does and be better at the next guy at it. That's the Korean way, whereas the foreign way is like, I don't know how to beat this, so I'm going to create some totally new strategy, and let's see if this works. And they try and fail a bunch, and then eventually they hit something, and then it kind of works, and then eventually the meta shifts. And that's what he was talking about. So
now it looks like we are going to have another video to find out what our next two players think about each other. So we'll go ahead and check that out coming up here. I'm really interested to see what they have to say.
떨어질 줄 알았는데 올라가서 많이 기쁘고요. 근데 경기력이 생각보다 안 좋아서 아쉬운 면도 있어요.
문제로 지적되고 있는 저그전에서 져서 2등으로 진출해가지고 그게 많이 아쉬웠어요.
감독님이 혼자 남았으니까 무조건 올라가야 된다고 하셔서 좀 어깨가 무겁네요.
워낙 제 기대치가 다른 선수들에 비해 높기도 해서 좀 그런 이미지가 많이 바뀐 것 같은데, GSL에서는 우승 2번이나 해봤고 그래도 스타리그에서도 우승해야 된다고 생각하기 때문에 꼭 이번에 우승하고 싶어요.
무섭긴 하지만 뭐 만났는데 어쩔 수 없죠.
제가 만날 때마다 다 이겼던 기억이 있기 때문에 최고의 상대인 것 같아요.
기본기가 확실히 좋으신 것 같고,
기본기가 그 남들이 생각하는 것에 비해 생각보다 탄탄한 것 같아요.
일단 빌드를 여러 가지 안 쓰시니까 그게 단점인 것 같아요.
저번에 대업이랑 할 때 봤는데 4대0으로 좀 힘없이 지길래 멘탈적인 부분에서 그렇게 좋은 것 같진 않아요.
빌드 이것저것 많이 쓰면 더 유리하게 갈 수 있을 것 같아요.
제가 말했던 거 2개 다 제가 나간 것 같아요.
잘하시는 선수지만 제가 잘 준비하면 이길 수 있을 것 같아요.
이번에 저한테 저도 그렇게 자신 있는 그런 마음가짐이 중요하기 때문에 계속 이어나갔으면 좋겠어요.
So we did get the interpretation of that interview there.
So Patience was saying that he has the mentality that he is, what was it, that he was going to work, he thought that Zest was a very good player, and so that Patience knew he was going to have to work very hard to beat him.
And Zest was like, yeah, that's a great mentality to have, so make sure you keep that mentality after I beat you this time.
Damn.
And you can prepare in the future as well. He's like, yeah, that's all good and all, but I'm just going to be used. So.
Yeah, lots of strong statements there. You can see Patience on your screen. Yeah, got to keep the Freak's hope alive here in SSL. But he will have his work cut out for him, going up against one of the strongest Protoss players in the world, in the galaxy, in whatever sector you want to put him in. Zest, an incredibly strong player, not only at international tournaments, things like IAM, crushed Kespa Cup, GSL. He just recently got eliminated from that, so he's had all of his time to practice here for the SSL.
And part of the reason I feel personally that he did get bopped out of the GSL by Tasia is just a bit of overconfidence. I hadn't really seen this out of Zest, but he came into that group of GSL acting as if he was the big boss, and he is. But he played like he was the big boss, and he didn't really have to try that hard, and he got punished for it. So hopefully he kind of learned his lesson from that match, and he's like, okay, I really have to practice hard. He said in the interview as well, like, I've won 2 GSLs, that's good and all. I need to win an SSL now. And now he wants to come down here and really win this one, so I would expect him to be very prepared and focused for this match.
Yep, you can see the map list right there. Starting out on New Gettysburg, finishing with a KSS, and this is not going to include our 2 new maps, Apotheosis or Galactic Process. So just going to have the same maps you guys have been seeing all season long. Find out who is the better Protoss in our last best of 5 of the night.
What a map to start it off on here, New Gettysburg, a very interesting PvP map. We could see air toss, we could see crazy rushes, could see a long drawn-out Malka game. Anything could happen.
That's going to be what we have to look forward to get into game number 1. Zest versus Patience.
Just to stay alive, yeah. The zombies come out at night. They'll never catch me.
Here we are on New Gettysburg. Down in the bottom right, sending out 2 very early probes. It is Patience.
My God, yeah, you can see here's some
talking to himself too.
Yeah, some fantastic fans there in the back. We'll see what the fans have to say here for Patience. Say good luck versus Zest. He's one of the best Protosses around.
It's like talking about Zest in the cheerful.
Yeah, man, it's like, well, good luck. Now, these are 2 of the earliest probes. Now, you can't build the assimilator if there is a probe standing right next to it, or floating right next to it. So, nice block to stop that gas seal from going down, but this is still going to be a forward pylon. So, a nice early rush started out here for Zest.
And what is he looking to do with this? He's going to block. He wants to fight against this 1 probe. Here is the cannon. There you go.
No block on the cannon, so it is going to come down there, but nice kill on at least one of these probes. We'll get the high ground pylon, so that is pretty well set up here. 1 cancel on the low ground. That cannon is getting focused down, so lots of probes off the line here, but is this going to be worth it for Zest?
I mean, look at that 1 cannon. It's already being zapped down here. It's not even going to complete. That 1 probe is already too low. He has to cancel it.
Yeah, don't tase me, bro. That cannon is out of there.
GG. That's
Whoa!
it. There you go. It fails. The cannon rush fails like that. You're not going to win the game. He was way too far behind. Zest responded to it perfectly. He didn't even pull all that many probes.
He knew exactly how many.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is domination. If you guys got a chance to see, so we have emblems for every player in SSL. Zest's emblem is the Protoss tattoo on a massive bicep that he just used to crush Patience. You guys,
he put Patience's head here.
Yeah, it was like I don't know, like cracking a walnut, like
yeah.
squeezing an orange, but with nerds' heads between his biceps. That guy is incredible.
Patience said he was going to prepare. He knew that Zest was like a really strong player, and I guess that's how you prepare for someone like Zest. You try to trick him into think you're going for a gas steal, but actually you're going for a cannon rush. But he sees it with his gateway anyway, so he just stops it. Yeah, I don't know, man. That really just did not work out at all.
Yeah, it looks like when I try to cannon rush on the ladder, it generally does not work out. I was talking to Wolf the other day, and he's like, yeah, I started getting really good at cannon rushing. I was like, that is like my worst strat. So definitely.
Of course, that's Wolf talking to you about cannon rushing, too. I'm like, there's no other person out here that's like, yeah, I was really practicing my cannon rushing the other day.
Gotta get good at it, man.
Yeah.
Well, Patience might need to practice that a little bit more because that did not look good. Zest playing a nice old game of Bop It there in game number 1. Patience has got 2 more games to come back, but Zest is looking good. As opposed to normally where he actually just looks good all the time.
Yeah, and This may be the shortest day of SSL round of 8 that we have because we had a
We'd be outta there.
3-0. The first game was the shortest game I think we've had in the SSL
That
this
GG
season.
comes out and it's like, okay, well, no fantasy GG timing here. This is not going to last much longer.
He could have tried to play and hold on for 3 minutes
when
and
you're
then
behind
die.
from the get-go versus Zest, like,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know, man.
There's
in a mirror matchup, so
there would be that one player that's like, no, I'm gonna Nexus first and make 3 cannons.
If I triple expand right now, I'll have a better economy. No, it's not how it works, man.
That's what would Fantasy do if he played Protoss? That's what he would do. Like he would.
Oh my god.
What would Marine King do? He would do the same thing. He's like, no,
if I just have enough units, I can beat him. It's like,
even Maru, yeah.
Well, no, man, you're not going to have enough units.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit odd. That's why we have to talk for longer because we should be playing a game right now that we aren't because that GG typing happened at like 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, now you get to watch us play Castcraft. But it does actually look like we are going to get into our second game of this best of 5, which should be coming up here in only moments.